What's going on, everybody? KingofDragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today I'll be having a look at the Marvel Legends Venom series, Carnage. And so here we have Carnage posed and out of the packaging. Before we take a look at the figure, let's actually run through his accessories really fast. Carnage here does come with two different head sculpts. We do get the absolute Carnage head, which he has on him right now. And then we get a more classic looking Carnage head. His final accessory is of course the Venompool Build-A-Figure head, which we'll have a better look at when he's all put together. But other than that, this figure doesn't come with any other accessories, which I kind of wish he came with weapon hands. But with that out of the way, guys, let's actually have a closer look at Carnage. So here we have a closer look at Carnage. Now this is the third time Hasbro has released Marvel Legends Carnage, and you know what? Third time is indeed the charm, because this figure is very, very good. Despite the fact that this is a third Carnage figure we've had a look at, he is still an impressive figure in his own right. Now I do have him with the absolute Carnage head that he has on him in the absolute Carnage run, which I think is a really nice head sculpt. It's not my preferred look for the character, but it's still a really solid head sculpt. I love the way the black transitions into the red. And one thing I love about this figure, everything is molded on him. There is nothing is flat like we saw on the previous Carnage figures. All the symbiote looking veins, or whatever you want to call them, it's sculpted detail, and that looks so good. Now, like I said, he does have his more classic Carnage head, which I'm more of a fan of the classic Carnage, but I kind of wish I had a second one, just because this is a really gnarly head sculpt, and I kind of wish I wanted to display him with this head as well, but that's neither here nor there. But anyway, having a closer look at this figure, not only does he have all this nice sculpted detail of the black on his torso, you can actually see some musculature detailing sculpt work inside the red. That is insane, especially for Hasbro to do with a figure. You wouldn't expect them to actually go this far into making an action figure, but you can see all this really nice musculature that they sculpted into the figure. It looks very nice, and for the most part the paint apps are very clean. The black is where it needs to be. There are some hit and miss spots here and there, but it's nothing that's gonna absolutely ruin the figure. I think this is one of their better looking figures. Looking so nice. I absolutely love this sculpt work. You can see he does have some tendrils coming out of his back right here, which it is a separate accessory. If you want to remove this part, you can, but honestly I think it looks so much better with the backpack on, especially having those tendrils come out. We do have some tendrils right here on his arms coming out of the bicep. On this side we don't have anything in the bicep, but we still have some symbiote coming out of the tendril, or out of his forearm. We do have these really killer claws that we have seen with all the other Carnage figures. And yes, everything is sculpted on here too, so you don't have to worry about any reuse. Everything on this figure was made for Carnage, and that is so nice. Hasbro has my utmost respect for this Carnage figure. It is their best run of Carnage. Just looking at all that fibrous muscle detailing in between the black, but the black being its own sculpt. There are some spots that you can obviously tell was intended to stay not molded, because we don't see any marks here on the knees. Surprisingly, we do get some on the elbows. I don't know why we didn't get any of the black symbiote right here on the knees. Maybe we were supposed to, maybe we weren't, but that's not an issue, to be quite honest. Again, we have some tendrils coming off his legs right here. And I do like the fact that these aren't reused from the original Carnage. These are actually its own thing with some spikes. He just looks very menacing, and one thing I love is that he actually has sculpted toes, and those toes look very mean. Everything on this Carnage looks mean, and when you get him into a monstrous pose, he looks formidable. So I absolutely love the detailing on this figure, and the articulation on him is no slouch either. So we'll get into that as soon as we have a closer look at how Carnage stacks up to other figures you may have in your collection. And so here we have Carnage posed next to a Marvel Legends Cyclops and a DC Multiverse Superman. Here we have Carnage posed next to a WWE Elite Scale figure and a Mezco 112 Collective Popeye the Sailor Man. Here we have Carnage posed next to a Lightning Collection White Ranger and a Star Wars Black Series Mandalorian. And for one final comparison, here we do have the new Venom series Carnage posed next to the original Venom series Carnage. So with the comparisons out of the way, let's actually move on to Carnage's articulation. Now Carnage does have a ball hinge here at the head, which the ball joint does work really nicely. You can see we get some really good movement just out of that ball joint. We get some really nice side-to-side tilt, does turn left and right. It hinges up really nicely, so you can get him in some really good poses, and hinges down really nice. This Carnage has a lot of posability options. One thing I love is that they finally gave Carnage butterfly joints. Now, they're not the best butterfly joints that we've seen, but it does help with posing, and they do move forward and back really nicely. His arms do go all the way around. Gotta watch out for the tendrils, because they do have a tendency to snag on each other. Arm goes out to the side, no problem. Bicep swivel works fine, no issues there. Double bend at the elbow, goes up past 90. We do have swivel and hinge at the wrist, which works for Carnage really good. Ab crunch does go back about that far. Crunches forward, that's beautiful. That bend is really nice. Why can't every figure have an ab crunch like that? That would make posing so much easier. He does have a swivel here at the waist. Legs do kick forward to about right there. Kick back, out to the side, better than some Spider-Man figures we've had a look at. Thigh swivel, no problem. Bend in the knee goes up about that far. We do have shin swivel, which is kind of strange. I would have liked to see the swivel down here and a little more hidden, but we get it no matter what. He does have ankle hinges which go forward and back, no issue. And then forward facing pin for rocker ankle. So overall, this Carnage, might I say it, is the absolute best Carnage that Hasbro has ever made. And I say that having all three versions of Carnage. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually get him posed for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. And so here we have the Marvel Legends Venom Series 2 Carnage posed for my final thoughts, and overall, really fantastic figure here by Hasbro. Their best outing for Carnage to date. Absolutely love everything about this figure. The sculpt work is phenomenal. The joints are really nice and tight, just the way they should be on every action figure. Paint apps work in this figure's favor, and overall the look of this figure is absolutely wonderful. Hasbro went all out with this particular Carnage figure, and I absolutely love it. Absolute Carnage here is a fantastic looking figure, and even better than all their other Carnages, the sculpt work on him really does bring out all that nice detail. If I have one issue with them, it's the lack of accessories. I do get that we get the two different head sculpts. The Absolute Carnage head looks great, as well as the Classic Carnage. I would have liked to see some weapon hands. Now, I do understand that a lot of new tooling went into this wave, particularly with Carnage and Venom. So I understand why this figure is a little bit lacking in accessories, but for what he is, it is perfect. This Carnage works for any Marvel Legends collector, and he looks great in your Venom, Spider-Man, Avengers shelf. Whatever you want to place this Carnage in, he works, and I absolutely love it. Now, unfortunately, if you're watching this video, Carnage is no longer available in stores at the time I'm making this video. Carnage came out last year with a Series 2 of the Venom Legends, and I'm just barely getting around to reviewing it because I had it in my pile of loot for so long, and it's just been sitting in my workspace for so long. I kind of forgot that I even had these guys, but finally getting a chance to open them up. I absolutely love the ones I've had a look at so far. Carnage here was originally going to run you about $20, but this figure is now running about $60 secondhand market. You can still find them for $20. You just gotta find a good seller or get them at a good price. With that being said, guys, I'm KingofDragons 5000. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. Go check out all my other action figure reviews as well as all my other Marvel Legend videos. Hopefully you find them informative. As always, if there's a figure you'd like to see me review, let me know down in the comments, and if it's in my collection, I'll gladly have a look at it. While you're at it, check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos, and as always, ring that bell to be notified every time I upload a video. Until next time guys, I'll see you later. Take care everyone.